Hello everyone, welcome to Mocking Sapien. My name is Tanay and today we are going to talk about the rapes which are happening in India and what are the possible solutions to it which we haven't ever spoken about. It might have come up like a very few times, but it's like rarely discussed. You feel so proud that India ranks number 1 in the most unsafe country in the whole world. The most unsafe. Feel so proud, right? Touches you within. And yet we don't care. It's not such a big issue for us until something big happened. Like recently the Hathras rape incident where everyone was enraged. They were like, lynch the rapists, hang the rapists. But that lasts only for a couple of days. It becomes a big sensation and then again it dies out. Then again you go back to not caring and until again something big happens. Do you know that in India 39 rapes happen per hour? Per hour 39 rapes in one country, which is extremely huge. Do we care? No. How many of you people know about marital rape? Just because a girl and a guy is married, the guy has the right to have sex with her against her will. Does it make sense? No. It is rape. Mind you, it is legal in India. It's legal. You can't. It's not a criminal offense. Marital rape is not a criminal offense in India. There are only 36 countries in the world where marital rape is legal and India is one of them. It's such a shame. While we are enraged, there are a bunch of idiots who do victim shaming.
जब तन इनका खुला रहेगा तो बलात्कार ही होना है. हर किसी का मूड खराब होगा.
अंग प्रदर्शन होएगा तो भैया अच्छे का दिल मचल जाता है.
इतनी बड़ी बड़ी कच्ची पहन के घूमती है बताओ.
आजकल तो बड़ी बड़ी फैक्ट्रियां लगी हुई है जिसके अंदर कपड़े बनते हैं. उनको पर कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए कि अभी आप ऐसे कपड़े ना बना के भेजें मार्केट के अंदर.
रात को 11 बजे 12 बजे मोहल्लों में घूमती है, मार्केटों में घूमती है. क्या मतलब है? अपना काम करो, अपने घर टाइम से पहुंचो. कोई बलात्कार का मतलब ही नहीं है.
साले घर से निकलने मत दो. घर की लक्ष्मी घर में रहती है, अच्छा रहता है.
जबरदस्ती करके ही तो रेप होता है सर.
जबरदस्ती कैसे हो जाएगा? मैं आपके सामने खड़ा हूँ, आप मेरे को कोई जबरदस्ती पकड़ के थोड़ी ले जाएंगे. और जबरदस्ती नहीं हो सकता ये. उसका राजी प्यार भी चलता है.
तालियां बेटा दोनों एक तरफ से बजती है, एक तरफ से नहीं बजेगी.
Ladki should wear good clothes. Ladki should not wear revealing clothes. Ladki should not step out at night. Ladki should stay at home the whole time. Everything the ladki should do, the guys will do what they want because guys are guys. Boys will be boys. What can you do in that? Now from those people, let's take politicians for example. Ram Sevak Paikara, a member of BJP, said this. Rapes do not happen on purpose. Such incidents do not happen deliberately. These kinds of incidents happen accidentally. It's just an accident. It has to be an accident. Na? Voluntary to nahi ho sakta. Accidentally. Mulayam Singh Yadav from Samajwadi Party. Boys are boys. They make mistakes. Babulal Kaur from BJP. Rape is a social crime which depends on men and women. Sometimes it is right and sometimes it is wrong. Because rape can be right. Na? This is the thinking. This is the thinking of these politicians. Just sky's the limit. Then let's come to religious leaders also. Asaram Bapu. He gave a statement on the rape which happened in 2012 on the moving bus. I would not like to read out his statement because he himself is a convicted rapist. So let's leave that aside. Let's come to Zakir Naik. Zakir Naik is very liberal in his thinking. Very liberal. Very.
O Prophet, tell your wives and your daughters and the believing women that when they go abroad, they should put on the cloak, they should put on the jilbab, so that they shall be recognized and it will prevent them from being molested. If you are inviting, then you will receive.
You are inviting, so you will get what you invite for. Law of universe. Such bunch of idiots, man. These people are so ignorant and stupid. Like, sky's the limit, bhai. Sky's the limit. You go as high as you can. People will still exist there. Or everyone will be setting a bar higher than one another. But what is the solution to stop rapes? Is it lynching? Like encounters and all these things? Though it helps our outrage at that moment of time, it is not a solution. Well, obviously I understand the emotions of the people and how pissed off they are regarding what is happening. But there's an issue of fake encounters which goes on. We sitting here don't know anything. We cannot pronounce a person guilty or innocent sitting at our houses. If that person by chance was innocent and an innocent being killed is extremely messed up. Just imagine you're innocent and you get killed for something you didn't do. That's why the justice system exists. It is slow, definitely, no doubt, but there are other reasons for it. But most of the time it gets you justice. It's better than an innocent being killed. Then okay, is hanging a solution? Now if a person is convicted of rape, the ideal solution should be hanging. Makes sense. But that raises another problem of the rape victims to get killed by these rapists because they wouldn't want to leave any loose ends for their own life. So if hanging becomes like a thing for all rapists, most of the rape victims are going to die. Then what is the solution? People talk about improved security, improved police, then CCTV cameras, cab service for women at night. So there are a variety of things which people do. It's an extremely good measure, definitely, but it is temporary. That's not the root problem. The root problem is something else which needs to be addressed. We always will talk about CCTV cameras, lynching, hanging, everything we'll talk about which gives comfort to the women. But there is one particular thing we don't talk about is sex education. How important it is and how big a taboo it is in India to speak about sex education. It's such a bloody taboo in India that the silence of it itself becomes the problem. When we were in school, we never learnt about sex education. We just learnt about the reproductive system, and reproductive system is not sex education. That's one part of sex education, but there are many aspects. It's a very small part. There are many aspects to sex education which we have to look at. Sex education is talking about reproductive health, about contraceptives, talking about gender equality, talking about gender identity, talking about consent, talking about self-worth. It's variety of topics. Here I'm mostly going to talk about gender equality and consent and discrimination. A research done by Madhumita Pandey in the Tihar jail, she took interviews of 60 convicted rapists. She asked them a variety of questions, and from the study she found out that the rapists don't understand the meaning of consent or that it needed to be sought. They don't understand what consent is. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we have been brought up in an environment where things have been good for us. Our morals, our principles, our upbringing was good. But that's not the case with these people. See, I'm making this very clear that I'm not taking the side of the rapists. I am blaming our system and our culture, our so-called Sanskriti, which we have, makes it such a big taboo in our society to talk about sex. Are ghanta Sanskriti. What's the point of this Sanskriti if it doesn't prevent from such devious acts from happening? Because of our so-called Sanskriti, young men in India develop in a more of a male-dominated environment with little or almost no sex education. Especially in the rural areas, it's even worse because men and women don't even come in contact. Together, this leads to misdirected masculinity, which means that male dominance, then gender discrimination and unequal gender attitudes and behavior. And these things start to get worse over time when male get more privileges than women. Men are allowed to go out and do whatever they want, like party time, go late at night, everything they are allowed to do. But women, on the other hand, are suppressed. So this also creates a division between genders, that one is dominant and one is suppressed. This culture of less to no interaction between men and women leads to objectification of women. That's why in the West, things are much better compared to India. I'm not saying it's perfect over there, but it's way, way better than in India. It is because of their open culture. They don't have restrictions as such. Men and women are treated the same way. Boys and girls are free to talk to anyone they want. They have their own freedom. They can freely talk about sex education, anything. They are free to talk about it. I'm not saying it's all perfect over there, but obviously it is way better than India, like way better. We are number one. In the world, we are number one. Anyone is better than us right now in this case. Rape isn't just about sexual feelings, but also about dominance and control. And not just dominance and control in terms of the rape victim, but also in terms of caste. So in caste context, if such a thing happens, when the so-called upper caste and the so-called lower caste, like the upper caste tries to show dominance over the lower caste, so it's trying to have that dominance, so it ultimately becomes a caste violence because it's happening on the terms of caste. One more thing people argue about is that porn causes more sexual assaults, whereas it's the exact opposite. More porn causes less rapes. I'll leave a link in the description in which various countries and the study done on them, and after legalizing porn, how the rapes over there dropped. So don't stay in this impression that porn causes, rapes and all extra. So education is very important in order for these things to stop on the long run. Education regarding sex, regarding caste, creed, religion, discrimination, so many things are there which needs to be covered right from the start. Most of the people talk about racism, casteism and various other injustices which happen in India, but no one talks about sex education. No one, because our Sanskriti is the best Sanskriti. See, I'm not saying that after sex education, everything is going to be sorted out and like it will come to zero rapes or something. But it will have a huge impact. We need to spread this message around that importance of sex education and why the government needs to implement it in our system. The government should start conducting programs and start educating masses regarding this and sex education, everything regarding it, because that's the root problem. So the root problem needs to be sorted out. The top things you are doing are extremely good, which you are talking about, better services, this, that is extremely good, but the root problem is something else which needs to be sorted out. That's why you can see a difference also between the West and in India. Ultimately humans, but just that openness of the culture and talking about sex freely just makes things better. The objectification of women stops because of open discussion and free meeting openly. I hope you understood everything. Thank you everyone for watching the video. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.